Beautiful eyes, you lock me in your gaze, and try though I might, I cannot look away. You're not what I expected to find, and now I'm forgetting why I should run from your side. Yeah. One gentle kiss, the pain alleviates, poisonous lips.
Good evening, everyone, and I am sorry about that. I actually stepped away and got pulled away longer than I thought I was going to be, and came back to find out that the raid had happened. Why is my camera angle all screwed up? That is always fun. Oh boy. Gonna be that kind of day, huh? That is fine. Let's see. First of all, those of you who are still here from the Troll Games raid, thank you very much for still hanging out. I appreciate it. And again, I apologize. I kind of got caught a little. This. Much better. Ultra Magnus, good to see you. Yeah, it's been a day. It's been a week, actually. So, now that I've got that settled, let's talk about why we are here. First of all, welcome to the TTRPG Theater. I am Rob, Phantom NJ, and I run games, I play games, a lot of Castles and Crusades, made by Troll Games, where some of you, those of you who are left, are probably have come from. Who are also a sponsor of this channel, and as such, I should probably get that going, shouldn't I? You can tell that this is a really professional program we have going here. We will have a giveaway. It is a $10 digital gift card for any digital product from the Troll Games site. So let's do this. Giveaways. All right. Okay, they should all be live now. Excellent, excellent. If you're interested, it is !ticket to enter into the giveaway. And we will pick a winner near the end of the stream. All right, so where are we now? So for today's topic, the topic was going to be recurring villains, or how to make effective use of recurring villains in your campaign. It's one of those things where I love the idea. It's something that, if used properly, can add a lot to a given campaign. And you see this a lot in like popular media. You'll have in say in a television show, you'll have that villain who's around for the entire season. might be around for the entirety of the show and not, if it's some kind of cop show, it might not be, they might be around for the entirety of the show for multiple seasons before they're finally caught. So somebody recurring, sometimes it'll be the character that you love to hate. And so that can be a lot of fun. You sometimes in video games. I remember one of the things that I loved was playing Star Wars: The Old Republic, and you had a character who started off in the recurring antagonist. You had a character was a character by the name of Kilran, Commander Kilran, and he showed up in the first group activity that you do, one of the first group dungeons, and would show up. I think he's like in the first three of them, maybe not the entirety of them, not all three of them, but like the three or the first four dungeons or whatever. And they finally had it where you end up facing him and taking care of him. And I got to admit, the character was so much fun that when you finally got the chance to take him out, it was kind of bittersweet because he's like, all right, well, we're not going to see him anymore. And he was so good. He had the little tete-a-tete where making snide comments at the characters, or they'd make fun of him. And we have an ad break. So that's always fun. I love the ad breaks. Because we don't have much choice about those, but you do what you can do. Like I said, this stream is sponsored by Trollord Games, makers of Castle and Crusades, Amazing Adventures, and they also made a game called Victorious, which hopefully at some point we'll get another printing. They are currently in the process of they've got 4 or 5 different Kickstarters and things that are coming, but soon they will be bringing back another printing of the Player's Handbook and Castle Keeper's Guide, Monsters and Treasures for Castle and Crusades, with non-OGL. They will be getting rid of all the OGL content and renaming it, redoing it something else. So look for that. That's probably going to be, I think, later this summer, or sometime this summer. We'll see what happens. Right now, they've got the Gygax Fantasy series as far as campaign building or world building and such. And a bunch of other stuff that we're currently waiting on to come in. So hopefully soon. All right. If somebody could give me a shout to let me know that they're back. In the meantime, I can do this. Or maybe not. Where'd my chat box go? Oh, there we go. All right. The moment when you're trying to figure out where the sound was coming from. This is, highly professional thing. I promise. Not. Oh boy. Yeah. Right, one of those days where you're pretty sure that you probably should have just stayed in bed. Because I'm thinking that today is becoming quickly one of those days. All right, I think I found it finally. Hey, Cannibal, good to see you. We are currently discussing no background noise. You know, I think I might actually have it filtered out, Alex, so that it's not making it to the stream. But the fun of audio is audio for Twitch streams is a joy, let me tell you. And figuring out what is and is not making it can be kind of a joy. So yeah, I'm having one of those days. So let's talk about recurring. Let's get back to the topic at hand and talk about recurring villains. It is something that I have used in the past, and I think it's something that can be very effective because it's something that, if used properly, can help bring a lot to the stream, or not the stream. Hello. Bring a lot to the game, and the key to it is there's a couple of things. One, how do you make a character interesting enough that you want to bring it back multiple times? How to do it in such a way that you can have the character come back multiple times, because obviously if you're playing an RPG and you have a character that is a villain of some type, the PCs are probably going to be going after it, going after the character. And for it to come back multiple times, the character needs to survive. And how do you do that without having, basically without pissing your players off? Because, it's one thing to have a character escape, maybe once, or, do it somehow. But if you keep putting the character out of reach, you run into the issue where, you run into the issue where the character just basically is a thorn in the side, to the point where your players are just like, why are we even bothering? It's, it feels like it's on rails. It feels like the character has plot armor, and, you're just toying with your players at this point. It can get very, very frustrating. It can be something that they may just decide that they don't want to deal with anymore, and they'd be perfectly in their rights to. So, how do you manage to do this? And there are a couple ways to go about it. One is, how you go about introducing the character, and the first part may be, not introducing it as an antagonist right away. It could be something that the players hear about, something they hear about on the wind, or they get news of, something that is happening elsewhere, and the character, the players become aware of it. It could be, hey Jay, I'm having one of those days. It's good to see you, sir. This stream has been a hot mess this evening, so I will be raiding into you with whatever, with whoever is good enough to bear with me at the time when we get there. But yeah, let me get you a shout out. Yeah, a rumor of gossip. Rumor or gossip is always current. Is a great way to go about it. And maybe it's somebody that they meet and they don't realize that they're the players may not realize they're a problem in the first place. Someone that they kind of know, someone's been, potentially either, hell, it could be somebody who's hired them, somebody who has, they've met along the way, and you find different methods of introducing it, but don't necessarily feel compelled that this has to be a character that is automatically set as somebody that they need to deal with. Occasionally it can be, you can also have a matter, chance encounter. Yeah, there you go. It could also be that the antagonist is not someone who is basically on the front lines of the trouble that the players are going to get into. Somebody who is a little bit behind the scenes at the start. The person who gave the orders, someone that becomes the target of the investigation if the players are trying to uncover, who's behind some attack or some activity that they've already gone through. They may find a note. They may find a puppet master. Yeah. Which also always makes for a good one. If you've started building up the idea that this character, this antagonist is somebody that is controlling the action, it can make a lot of fun for the players for wanting to get after it and wanting to go after the person themselves. Of course, you have to balance that and making sure that they're not immediately. It may be something where they need to get a proper proof that they need to in order to go take the person out. And another interesting idea, once that happens, once the players are in a position where, okay, it is time to go and, go and trying to confront this character that you've built up a bit, that they've been introduced to, they've already come to the conclusion that they don't like very much, because, and it's got to be fun. You want to make sure that, they're motivated to do it. Not, they're not frustrated to the point where, they decide it's not worth it. They basically have reason to, they have the proper motivation to go after it. And, they believe that there's going to be a payoff when you do. I mean, you don't want to be having them go after the character and basically keep pulling things, pulling the rug out from underneath them. You can do stuff like, maybe their orders are to capture them. Is capturing versus killing an opponent, a lot trickier. They need for whatever reason, whether it is the bounty that they've been given specifies to bring them back alive, or it is a matter of there's reason to believe that the antagonist has information that they need, so they need to they need them back alive for that reason. I realize that Speak with Dead is a thing, yet that's something that you have to kind of balance. But Speak with Dead is not guaranteed, and if they screw it up, then you have the issue of, well, that information is lost. So, try very, very, very hard. Maybe the reward is that much greater for bringing back alive, because sometimes rewards, whatever the reward is, that can be the biggest incentive for the players. But a good antagonist, if played well and done in such a way that the players are not frustrated, they don't think the character has plot armor. Plot armor is one of those singularly frustrating things, because when a character has plot armor, it's basically meant that for those of you who are not clear what plot armor is, it means that the person running the game has decided that this character cannot die yet, or this character cannot be captured yet, and by whatever means necessary, the character is going to escape the clutches or is going to avoid getting killed, and you basically screwed up player agency. There's the players, there's nothing that they can do, so they're just gonna, they're basically just going to have to deal with it. Yeah, limited questions and I'm assuming you're talking about Raised Dead for the limited questions and specificity, because this is definitely true. It is, and it's one of the things where you kind of want to make sure that you reiterate that the reason for bringing them back alive, that yes, Raised Dead is a possibility, but unlimited charges, a ring of teleportation. Oh my goodness. That that is Pandora's box of hellish things that, oh my goodness. Yeah, I wouldn't, that's not quite bringing a deck of many things to your campaign, but it's not far off either. Oh boy. I've had, I've done some recurring stuff, and one of the idea of them being the mastermind behind things, and basically throwing minions at it. There are games, there are certain games where there is that character. I mean, one of the most popular, and I would say honestly, it's probably the most popular adventure I can think of, because they've remade it for every edition of D&D there is. And that is, 5th edition Curse of Strahd, Strahd von Zarovich, starting with, AD&D 1st edition Ravenloft. Even early on in the first module, when, before it became a campaign style thing, there was this idea that you were not ready to take on Strahd right at the beginning. Strahd was more powerful than you were. Strahd was a vampire. You might not have realized. I don't think in the 1st edition you knew Strahd was a vampire until later. You find out kind of what he was. But you had to build up to that, and the character would make appearances. Basically toying with the players, and it was kind of like walking that tightrope, just having some fun, giving that sense of dread, giving that sense of, this is somebody who really needs to be taken out, but we're going to need to work up to that. And again, still having to balance that, making sure that the characters don't feel completely helpless. Yeah, you knew eventually he had to be taken out, but it wasn't going to happen immediately, and because he was, even before the actual domains thing existed, that came about in 2nd edition, or well, maybe it was technically the second adventure in 1st edition kind of created it. Strahd was still master of his immediate surroundings, the castle and various creatures that inhabited it, as well as the grounds around it. Strahd was in control, and he sent his minions. The players knew, the players would know he existed, and they would have to deal with all the other things. So when you finally got around to taking Strahd himself, it was extremely satisfying if you were able to take him out, because finally you were getting to the big bad. But I want to caution that the antagonist does not have to be the BBEG. It's one way to go about it is to have it as the BBEG, where they're one, at least maybe not for the the final BBEG, but one of the goals for one of the acts within a campaign. But it's one way to go. It is definitely one way to go. I'm trying to think of some of the other things that I've done. I've had antagonists, recurring antagonists. Occasionally, here's a good one for you. The leader of a competing adventuring guild, or the leader of a competing, or basically just a competing adventuring party. They may not quite be villains, but when somebody is basically taking, there you go. Recurring a villain does not need to be evil. It could be somebody who's just basically making life hard on the characters. A competing adventuring party may just be that. There's somebody who's by their actions maybe taking money from the players, but by recovering something before they do. It could be officials in a city. My adventuring parties right now are for the Emirates of Empire campaign, are currently situated in a city that While the kingdom itself has recognized adventuring parties as generally being a good thing, the city that they are in, the city of Ragby, is of the of the mood that adventuring parties are not worth the trouble that they cause. They are a threat to the stability of the city. Don't like them, don't care for them. Will do what they can to make life rough on them. And so you have to deal with that, and it's one of those things where they're the rightful enforcers of the law in the city. So it's not like the party can just suddenly rebel and take them out. So there's there are lots of possibilities there. It's something that you can have a lot of fun with. Something that it adds a sense. I don't want to say realism. Is probably not the right word. But it does give a flavor of character, to the campaign. It does. It adds some depth to it, because when you have things that you're dealing with again, and there's the sense of familiar to it. There's the sense of there's a sense of having. I don't want to say it's comforting, but I don't want to say familiar again either. It's something that they kind of you might end up actually being something that they look forward to, because if you play your cards right and you play the character well, you make it in such a way that you're having some fun with instead of at the player's expense. It's something for them to look forward to. It does bring the setting, bring the adventures to life. Because it's not a one and done situation. It adds some depth to it. But again, you have to be careful that you're not doing something where you are giving it plot armor. And for the record, it's something I plan on using in the campaign going forward. I have a couple of ideas. As a matter of fact, of the adventures that have taken place, there have been several antagonists that the various adventuring parties have faced where they've captured as opposed to killed their quarry. And they were rewarded both in terms of experience and in terms of coin better than they would have if they had basically taken it out, taken the person out. So there are some potential ramifications to that. And, so I'm looking forward to how that plays out. Speaking of which, I should probably mention that the next adventure for the campaign is taking place this coming weekend on Sunday. This is the group that has has run twice already together, as well as parts of it have run with other groups. They now have group names. The group name is the Righteous Hands. And this weekend on Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, the group known as the Righteous Hands will be playing in Dream of the Dwarven Seer. Here's a little spoiler. There will be dwarves. There's actually a dwarf in the group. Their cleric is actually a dwarf, so there's a little bit of a tie-in. This adventure it will have some pretty serious ramifications for the campaign. It's going to be one of the early turning points in terms of things happening, and we've already dealt a little bit with it with politics in terms of we had an adventure where that took place during GaryCon where a lordling was rescued and his uncle was captured, who was turned out to be thought dead, turned out to be alive, and was basically plotting some treasonous thoughts. So, treasonous stuff. So there's stuff to come from that. This will be something different. but again, I don't want to give away too much, and it's very difficult to avoid giving too much. But let's just say, please tune in on Sunday for this, because this is going to be a hell of a lot of fun. It's a good group. They've added a new member. And the new member has played in other adventures. The Paladin of St. Cuthbert, I believe it is. Likes to give out pamphlets, which their way of proselytizing. Has a very dry sense of humor. So I'm looking forward to how that fits in with the overall group. Sunday, 3 p.m. here, right here on this channel. Antiquity, it's good to see you. So you were mentioning how when the villain shows up. Yeah, I mean that's key. It's when does it show up? And not only that, and depending on how you do it, again, it's a matter of when. And no, when do they reveal themselves to be a problem? When do they actual trade contracts for pamphlets? Oh boy. Yes, Suits the series. Oh man. I watched it. I thoroughly enjoyed Suits. I'm not gonna lie. Suits was one of those things where I had to fight the urge to just basically say that the premise overall was ridiculous, because quite frankly, the overall premise of Suits is kind of ridiculous, but the show it's just so well written that, as long as you can choke that down, it's really entertaining. Yeah, again, the first few seasons, it did get a little, get to the point where it got a little overboard, and occasionally just kind of felt like it was just treading old ground over and over again. You kind of wonder how any law firm functions like that, but it was supposed to actually function. Some of the character development was pretty cool. The initial premise lasting for more than a season took a lot of just, all right, we're just going to ignore how ridiculous this is and let it go. But otherwise it's entertaining. And yeah, the partner does show up at different times, and you knew the partner, they made it clear right away that the initial the former partner, Daniel, was a problem. And then you realize exactly how much of a problem he is. And then there's Wheels Within Wheels going, which Wheels Within Wheels is another interesting thing, because it's great if you have a group where they're playing long enough for that to pay off, and you're capable of doing it. Never quite sure where the actual end of the antagonist trail is, and who really is the big bad behind it all. It's fantastic. But it's one of those things where you're fighting between the joy of watching it all unfold versus the desire to rush it so that the party can finally find out who's behind it all. I've had to fight that before. I had a campaign where there were multiple acts to it, and the first act there was a payoff at the end where they got the first level of BBGs, and to then find out through it all that there were they had hints along the way that this isn't where it all ended, and they got that confirmation, and it ended up being a lot of fun. But oh my goodness, was it hard to keep it from the players. There was the desire to throw all the cards out on the table and say, look, this is what's really going on. And, finding the patience to let it all play out. It took some doing. It took some discipline. And, took the hope that the campaign was just going to last long enough. as we all know in this day and age that scheduling is the real BBEG, and real life happens, things happen. So you kind of need to fight it to keep it all alive. All right. So we do have the giveaway going right now. We've got one entrant. I'd love for somebody else to enter. We at least have two people, because right now it's 100% good. Your chance. Exclamation point ticket to enter, and that is for a $10 gift card to digital gift card for digital products from the Trollord Games website. That one more time. Other things that, while we're talking about that, one of the things that I should bring up is Friday Night Crusades is after a slight hiatus because of the health of our castle keeper. Friday Night Crusades is once again taking place in my Discord. It is the easiest if you've been looking for a game. If you've been looking to play some Castle Crusades or get into Castle Crusades, just see what it's about. We have the easiest game on earth for you to possibly get into. All you need to do is join the Discord. As long as you can listen in, we have, the game runs on Friday nights from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern. That's when it starts. That's when it ends. However, you get there when you get there. If you can't be there for 8 p.m., you show up when you show up. You have to leave early, you leave early. If you can't make it every week, don't worry about it. It's basically be there when you can, for however long you can. All you need is the player's handbook, the ability to make a character, and the current 7th printing of the player's handbook for Castle Crusades is now currently available free from the Trollord Games website in digital format. So you can grab that there, make a character, play whatever character you want. And as long as it's from the PHP, the rules and everything for it are within the Discord. Jay, thank you so much, Jay, and we will see you soon. Basically everything that you can need. It's and basically when you're missing and whenever you come in, it's like all hand waved away. We wanted to make it so that this is something we've been doing for a few years now. I was in the initial I was initial castle keeper for I stepped down because I needed to concentrate on doing some other stuff, and someone took over for me and basically started a new adventure. It's a lot of fun, but we wanted to make it so that everyone get a chance to play. You didn't have to worry about whether or not you could be there every week. We didn't want there to be a cost to it. All you need is connectivity, join the Discord, be able to listen in. It helps if you have a microphone and you can talk. If you can't talk on a microphone for whatever reason and you're able to type your stuff in, that's fine too. A roll for perception. It is great to see you. Oop, that is not your, there we go. Roll for perception, where you can find me on Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, playing from Pathfinder 2E. Terry is a fantastic game master, and we have a lot of good people over there as well. Playing some Pathfinder 2E in the world of Golarion. There are streams on other nights as well, Tuesday nights and early Sunday mornings. Speaking of which, on Sunday mornings, you can normally find me. I end up running some technical difficulties this Sunday. Spilled coffee on my keyboard and mouse and actually knocked my mouse out. My keyboard was acting a little wonky, but my mouse was non-functional until about 6 hours later when it finally dried out. Thankfully, I didn't need to buy a new one, but I missed this past Sunday session. Terry, that was the start of the awful week for me. But it's, you can find me on Sundays on Troller Games stream, playing Castle Crusades, playing my illusionist, Nadia Payne, who is a lot of fun. Spent a lot of time just trying to keep her alive. Scottish Jeff, thank you so much for the subscription. And Siglin, speaking of the Castle Keeper, dude, I'm sorry to hear your foot was giving you problems. Don't worry. I completely missed the Troller Games raid. They raided in and I ended up getting pulled away from my desk and was like 5 minutes late. So, well, at least I don't know how, how early before I started that they came in. I didn't even started the stream yet. So unfortunately that happened. It's been fun. I really appreciate those of you who've been hanging out this entire time because, this entire stream's been a bit of a hot mess, but we're getting through it. We do have the giveaway, exclamation point ticket for the $10 gift card for any digital product from the Troller Games site. One thing I do want to bring up, bandage. Ooh. Yeah. Oh, okay. That's always fun. Not. I'm just listen, dude. I'm just glad you're back and you're doing all right. Yeah, I know you've been. I know you've been through some rough stuff. So we're all very, very happy that you're back and that you'll be running the game. You actually came in just as I was talking about Friday Night Crusades and the fact that we are back off of hiatus. So I'm looking forward to. All right, dude, that might be a bit much. Oh my goodness. Yes, no, it's oh boy. When life is a little too much like a when life feels a little too much like a a game where injuries and such. Wow. Okay, so you came in right as I had finished talking about the recurring villains. Shadow Dark game. Yeah, just don't turn off the light. Oh man. I probably should buy the Shadow Dark books now that I've actually played it once. I don't know when I'm going to get to do it again. There are places going. Oh, nice. Reoccurring villain popping up by tomorrow night and Friday Night Crusade. So yeah, if you want to see what a recurring villain can mean to an adventure, show up tomorrow night. If you're not sure that you're ready to play and you just want to hang out in the Discord, just basically keep your mic muted. You're more than welcome to join the Discord and join the game when you're able to and just listen in. We have we have at least one. I know one person who is pretty regular about listening in. I haven't been able to make the last few sessions that have occurred. I haven't been able to make, so I'm not sure if that's increased at all. Well, did the hermit survive? I forget. Siglin accidentally nearly TPK'd the party with a random encounter. It was one of those things where his rolls were really, really good and ours were objectively terrible. Hey, Pat, good to see you. We do have the giveaway going. It is exclamation point ticket for the $10 giveaway. Both and more. Yeah, those are oof. Talk about recurring. If Loth is a recurring villain in your game, your players are in trouble. I'm hoping that they're higher level. because that's a bad sign when when a drow deity, or really the drow deity, is a recurring, it's a recurring character in your games. Um, so mostly they're minions, but we're one step behind. And that's fair. Again, recurring villain as the person behind the scenes, maybe not entirely behind the scenes, but the person who is sending their forces and is kind of controlling the action of things that are happening to the PCs. Definitely makes for a good recurring villain. It's one way to go to make it so that the players are not going after it immediately themselves. Something that they have to work up to. But it's a great thing to get the attention of the player. Get the attention of the players, get the attention of the PCs, give them something to work towards. Does the GM count as recurring villain if he has a TPK? No, because if the GM causes a TPK, then there's a lack of recurrence there because you're gonna have brand new characters who haven't been facing them before. Twelfth level, been trying to thwart their plans for the continent since level 5. Yowza. That's what I call playing the long game. All right. Nice. I like that. I'm trying to think what the longest. I mean, I haven't had a hell of a lot of campaigns that went very long because, parties break up. People want to do other things. People, think games fall apart. I guess Freudian slip is showing. Well, I mean, if there's a TPK, then well, yeah, all right. If a TPK occurred, either way, I'm not saying the GM should have caused the TPK. Sometimes the dice will have mind of its own. The player actions will end up leading to bad results and so on and so forth. You'll get things happening. Mistakes will be made. TPKs will happen, but any way you look at it, once it happens, well, the next group of players, the players may, the villain may be recurring for the players, but it won't be recurring for the characters. So that gets kind of messy. Yeah, listen, you're perfectly valid. Now that you mentioned, it definitely should count as kind of a Freudian slip because it's not. I'm very much of the mindset that the GM should not be causing a TPK. This was a discussion somewhere. I forgot where I was having this conversation. Might have been a TikTok conversation for I can remember. Which is fine because apparently we won't have to worry about that soon anymore. But we're not going to get into that. I don't. All right. So let's see. We do have Guild Superior almost lost 2 party members last Tuesday. Was this the Heroes of Greyhawk campaign, Jeff? Wow. Yeah. I am not even going to comment on that. Yeah, I'm not. I'm going to bite my tongue there. Sometimes, there's sometimes things that you wish you didn't know. But unfortunately. Oh, no. This Terry, I'd be happy to talk to you in private, but I think I did tell you some of the stuff, but no, there's I am no longer I'm no longer affiliated for reasons, so I'm going to leave it at that at the in terms of public. Terry was, yeah, or at least near, well, at least one. Technically, it happened. So we do have, like I said, we do have the giveaway. Let me one more time. I want to bring up the fact that on Sunday, the Righteous Hands, they're now back to being. They started off as a group of 6. They lost one person. This is now going to be their 3rd adventure completely together. They are back to 6 people. And Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern, the Dream of the Dwarven Seer. This is going to be a pretty significant adventure in terms of, what it means for the campaign, what it means for the party, honestly. And I'm looking forward to seeing what what happens with this group. I'm interested to see what happens with the new member joining group. It should be a lot of fun. So I hope you'll join us. We will be doing, and I think the bot has been talking about it. We will be doing, as far as like being able to help the characters, bit donations. We have channel points where you can get them a regular hero point where 10,000 channel points, or I think it's 100 bits, will get them a regular hero point that they can use before the die roll. So, basically it adds a modifier to the die roll. Or 500 bits, they can use it as a special hero point where they can change the actual die roll by however many special hero points they use after the fact. So they can either, make a roll a crit if it's close enough, or they can actually undo a crit of mine if they so wish. So, it's ways to support the character, help support the channel, have a little fun. I just hope to see you all there. And that will be Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Did you win last week? If you won, something, I should have one for you then. I can go back and double check on that. I thought I had sent you. I thought I had sent it. I could be wrong. Let me confirm, and I can get that out for you. That's fine. Hey, and there we go. All right. But I want to thank everyone for hanging out. Scottish Jeff, thank you so much for the resubscription. Thank you everyone who hung in for, again, this hot mess of a stream. I will be putting up as is, so you can all poke fun of it when it goes to YouTube. I do have a YouTube channel. If you're in the Discord, the link will show up there. If you be kind to go to, if you're in my Discord and you see the link to YouTube when the video comes up, or any of the videos, please go and subscribe. I think I have to hit I think it's either 50 or 100 subscribers where I can get more of a static, customize URL for it. But we are going to close out the I give you, until 7:32, so however many seconds are left to enter exclamation point ticket. We currently have 5 entries, at which point I will close it out and we will do the drawing. An Only Dice fan channel. Oh boy. I will be rating into J, yes. All right. All right, closing it out. And the winner, Antiquitous. Alex, congratulations. I will. Pat, thank you so much for the bits. Do you have? Do you want me to give that a regular hero point to somebody on Sunday for you? I can certainly do that. Ooh, it's for me. I like this. All right, thank you so much. I will be back next week for another stream, and hopefully I will have my act together a bit more than I did today. Did that raid even kick off? He is on, right? Not losing my mind. So why didn't that raid work? Oh, because it helps when I use the right command. All right, so everyone, if you please hang with me until the raid, get your raid remotes ready. I will see you all on Sunday, hopefully at 3 p.m. And next Thursday at 6:30, and this time I'm hoping that I will be on time and a little bit more focused than I was today. Thank you all for hanging out, chatting. Congratulations, Alex, on the winning the gift card. I will send you the information after the stream. See you on the flip side.